Hi, I am Marion Maicatino, a Filipino environmental planner. In this video, we will create priority programs and activities for your disaster rehabilitation and recovery program using PlanSmart. We will also detail the funding and investment requirements for them. In summary, in this section, we will define your financing and investment requirements to rehabilitate and recover from a disaster. 4 basic steps are involved, and we will do this through PlanSmart. First, we will identify PPAs or priority programs and activities to satisfy the needs of your LGU post-disaster. Second, we will determine phasing, timelining, and implementation of these PPAs. Third, we will estimate funding requirements for these priority programs and activities. Lastly, we will identify and detail the funding sources for these PPAs. To do this in PlanSmart, go to the DRR Program tab and go to the Priority PPAs section. To add a new priority program and activity, go to the DRR Program tab and go to the Priority PPAs section. In this section, click the Add New PPA button. A pop-up form will appear where you can detail the location, the beneficiaries, the funding sources, and the funding requirements of your program and activity for rehabilitation and recovery. Select a sector that you have identified previously in your identification of the Disaster Rehabilitation and Recovery Program. I've selected the sector Physical Infrastructure. In this strategy, I have previously selected Strengthen the Enforcement of Laws. And in this strategy, a PPA that is included is Building Structure Assessments in disaster-affected areas. Note that the selected PPA will be filtered according to the selected strategy and the selected sector. We will now indicate the location, the target beneficiaries, the funding sources, the implementing agencies, and other details that we need to convey to the funding source for their approval. As an example, we can indicate a barangay as a location for this particular PPA. Then, we can indicate the number of buildings that we will do the structure assessments for. For the funding source, we can select from this menu, including the NDRRM fund, the regular agency budget, the LGU, the non-government agencies, or any other sources that we have identified as a local government unit. Now, we will choose the implementing agencies that should be involved in this particular priority program and activity. So let's select, for example, the DPWH, since this is a building structure assessment. We will identify the time frame or implementation period of this particular priority program and activity. Let's indicate the time frame or implementation period for this particular program. For example, we estimate that it will take 3 months to assess the building structure in disaster-affected areas. Now, let's detail the funding requirement for this project. Since this project is aimed to be implemented for only the next 3 months, we will indicate it in the short-term box. Let's estimate 150,000 pesos for it. We will indicate 0 in years 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 because this is only a short-term project. In case of a longer-term project, the medium-term box will contain the sum of years 2 to year 4. Press Update to save your changes. Now, that project is included in your rehabilitation and recovery plan. To preview your plan, click the View R&R Plan button. The total investment requirements of your program is in Chapter 4 and also in the annexes. Detailing the funding requirements of your projects and activities for disaster rehabilitation and recovery will help you realize building forward better. Thank you.